Welcome to the 2015 Cambridge Real Estate Market Year in Review. It was another strong year in Cambridge real estate, though across the board I would say acceleration has decreased a bit. Things are still moving up steadily, but at a little bit of a slower pace than we've seen in prior years. This year I'm going to take a look at three sectors of the market independently, so we'll see a different video for singles, condos, and multis. Let's get into the numbers. So taking a look at condos in Cambridge for 2015, the average sale price was just over $715,000, and that represents a high point if we're looking back about 12 years, back to 2004, when the average price was $436,000. Quite a run-up over that time. It's important to look at the relationship between the total number of properties listed and the number that sell and the number that don't sell. It should give a seller an indication that pricing is still important. So in condos, of the 706 properties that were listed in 2015, 112 of them did not sell. And if you take a look at overall what the average list price was, it was around $717,000. And then if you look at just the properties that sold, those 594 condominiums that did sell, the average list price of those was $682,000. So it makes sense in that the properties that are priced too aggressively and perceived as overpriced by buyers don't sell. One interesting thing to look at in the condo inventory in Cambridge, and this is overall inventory, the total number of properties that come on the market in a given year, it has dwindled steadily from 2005 to 2015. As you can see in this chart, this past year we were right around 800 condos overall, and back in 2005 it was closer to 1,700. It's interesting because you could argue there are more condos coming on the market as multifamilies are converted into condominiums. That increases the overall total supply, not the supply that's on the market, but the total supply, which would make you think that you would have more on the market on a regular basis. As a counterpoint to that, a number of these condominiums are also owned by investors, and perhaps the number of investors is increasing in Cambridge, meaning that we see fewer condos turn over on an annual basis if they're being held for a longer period of time. I'm often asked by clients, what's the best time to sell my home? What's the best time to buy my home? So I want to talk a little bit about the relationship between supply and demand. To define supply, I want to use the total number of properties available during a given month. So that's both the properties that were active on the first day of the month and all of the new listings that came on the market during that month. And then to define demand, I'm going to look at how many properties in that month went under agreement. You'll hear people say under agreement, under contract, went pending. All of that means the same thing. So in condos, if you're a buyer, there's sort of a mythology about the spring market. There is a lot going on in the spring market, but in fact, your best bet as a buyer is to look in the fall, somewhere between September and December, when we still see quite a lot of supply, but fewer properties are going under agreement, so there's less competition. If you're going to sell a condominium, your best bet is to go on the market January, February, March, where we see a high level of demand, tons of buyers out there putting properties under agreement, but we haven't yet had the glut of inventory that we get in April, May, June. Looking at the number of units that were sold, we sold 594 condo units in 2015. Interestingly, that's a low water mark if we're looking back as far as 2004. In 2005, we hit 1,041 units, which was incredible. That was during a big condo conversion boom, but that held up between 800 and 1,000 really for 4 years, from 2004 to 2007, and since then it's been mostly on the decrease. Taking a look at the sale price to list price ratio, that's the relationship between how much is a buyer on average paying relative to the asking price. In the condo market in 2015, a Cambridge buyer was paying about 105% of the asking price, so on average 5% above asking. If we look relative to 2014, that number was 103%. And in 2013, it was 102%. So we're seeing, in fact, even more competition, it looks like, in this past year than in prior years. So that's the story for 2015. As always, I hope you'll feel welcome to give me a call, shoot me an email, stop by the office. I would love to talk with you about how I might be able to help you navigate the tricky waters of Cambridge and Somerville real estate. So now that you're all up to speed in the condo market, please visit laurenholleran.com to check out the year in review videos for single families and multifamilies.